Hey everybody, it's Smashing Game Time. We are three brothers that go through gaming's back catalog of yesteryear. I'm your host, Nick. Down below me is Josh. He's not going to swear in the first hour of the show, he told me today. Not one bad word.
This is take two, by the way.
Not my fault, though. And then over there, the guy dancing, if you can see him on camera, it's Jake. Jake, say hello.
Hello. I'm Jake. I'm the one dancing on camera, if you could see me.
He's monotone like that all the time, even in the bedroom.
Hello.
We are doing 2016 Q1. That's right. We are making gaming great again today. Oof, 2016, yuck. But before we do that, I want to remind everybody we are a Trident Network podcast. Go check out our siblings. Actually, Bitcherton had their premiere the other day, and they are actually doing a rewatch of what's that show with the pirates? Our Flag Means Death. They're doing a rewatch of Our Flag Means Death, so go check that out. They actually live stream that on Mondays. So by the time you hear this, you should hopefully be ready to go that night to go see Bitcherton. So go check them out. As always, you can find us anywhere you get your podcasts. Rate and review us on Apple, Google, or Spotify. 5 stars, please, because we are starving boys. Guys, what is everybody doing? What is everybody up to?
Getting my life together at this point. It's already February 1st as with this recording, and I'm I'm overwhelmed.
What? How can we get you back down to whelmed, Josh? I don't want you overwhelmed.
It's life. It's just everything going on. Just trying to get my life figured out, get my work figured out. That'll be good. Give me like another 2 weeks, and we'll be back to normal.
Hey, and you know what? If it doesn't work out, you know what? January 2024 is only 11 months away.
Don't say that. We just started the year, and I told myself this was going to be the year. This was going to be the year.
This is your year, Josh. I believe in you. You've got this. Anything game-wise from you, Josh?
Honestly, I've maybe played a couple hours of games. I still owe a review. I haven't even finished that.
Have you started the game at least?
Yeah, no, I've done the game. I just haven't finished the paper. The words.
The review.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Jake, game-wise, or game or life-wise, what are you doing?
Working out of home. I wish I was home. I can't wait to be back at home in April. Brawlhalla Winter's Championship is this weekend, actually. The Winter's Championship is this weekend. Next weekend is twos. I plan on going to DreamHack San Diego in April and Combo Breaker in May.
Nice.
So just Brawlhalla, TFT, yeah. Pretty much it. That's all I got.
That's all he has. I am still working in person, but baby will be here in less than a month, so I'll be having a little more time for family and me. On the game front, I just did submit my review for Trenches on the Switch. Trenches is from a solo dev. It is think of Slender from back in the day, but in a World War I trench with you being chased by a headless corpse, and you're collecting these 9 things to help you get out of the trenches, and it's just it's scary. It's a lot of jump scares. It doesn't look great on Switch, but what game does look great on Switch for the most part?
Breath of the Wild.
Come on, dude. But other than that, that review is actually up on Game Chronicle. Go check that out. What else have I been playing? I'm playing a review copy of Chained Echoes, a old school 16-bit RPG, thinking like old Final Fantasies or Chrono Trigger. I'm about, how many hours we got here? I'm about 5 hours in. I've already met like 6 or 7 of the main cast. It's just good to play like a long-term game. Like it feels like everything I play has to be super quick in and out because a lot of what I'm playing I'm reviewing. I talked about the combat a little bit with like the balancing it out. I've gotten into some harder fights, and like once you start getting to where you have things that you like, okay, I need to heal, but if I heal, this is going to put me into overdrive. This is going to put me over, and then we're going to take more damage. It's really a game of give or take there. And then I've also started playing Hi-Fi Rush. I'm reviewing that as well. Guys, that might be my game of the year right now. Hi-Fi Rush, for those who don't know, that is a 3D beat 'em up from the team that did the Evil Within games, and they also did that Ghostwire Tokyo last year. Very cartoony. It does this thing where it'll go from like a 2D flat like looking cartoon into like a 3D looking like cinematic. It's beautiful. All the combat's to the beat. Everything around you is moving to the beat with you, and you're just trying to chain combos. I'm actually doing pretty good. I think I'm playing normal, and I'm finishing a lot of areas like B plus. Like I'm not like really finishing anything under that. Characters are very likable. It's got themes about like it's very anti-capitalism, very anti-corporate. Kind of, it's reminding me story-wise a lot of what I played of what was the comedy game that just came out with the talking guns? Exactly,
Ooh.
right? High on Life. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so it's reminding me a lot of a High on Life, but funnier and better. And just you care more about the characters, whereas the other ones are just shitty guns who who hold people against their will in their houses. But I digress. And I think that's about all I've been playing. Just a lot of review stuff, not a lot of time for personal stuff. I am hoping to get back to some games that I started to reviewed and then didn't have time to like go back and fully appreciate. So like Moonscars is on my list. I think I want to give Signalis another go around. I did play a little bit of Marvel Snap. They did they have the competitive mode in there where you can send a friend an invite code and play them. Played a few buddies from the internet, and I've lost every match so far, but they've been close. So what they did to change this up, instead of just like hey, one game takes it all, you both start out with 10 points and the snaps equal. So like if Jake and I play and I beat Jake and the game, that cube up top finishes with 2, that means Jake loses 2 health. So the first one to get, and so like if you snap, that goes up. So like if I win and it's at 8, Jake loses 8 health. And it's basically whoever gets the other one down first.
Dude,
It adds,
that's going to be a crazy esport.
It adds so much to it. Like the first game I played, me and my buddy went to 7 rounds, and then me and another guy ended up going to 3 rounds because we were just snap heavy. And the locations are still dirty, still doing me dirty, but it's a very fun game. I hope they work that game mode into matchmaking because I think it's a lot more fun than just the one and done.
Another thing, because the reason a lot of people kind of like steered away from the game now is just the paywall.
Paywall's nasty. I mean, paywall's not too bad. I mean, the $10 a month for the Game Pass is kind of ridiculous, especially when seasons in most other games are like 3 months, and they're like every month they're like, give us $10, and I'm like, okay. The other packs are kind of ridiculous. So they have packs that give you like the card money and then the gold, and they have one for like $99.99. It's like, who's buying this? Who stole their parents' credit card to get this? The only other thing I will say about the new game mode is that I wish it would let you switch decks or switch cards out of your deck between rounds. It doesn't let you do that right now. You can also change your name on there right now, which is pretty cool. I'm just Nick on there, so. But you also can't add friends. Everything's through a friend code, so too bad, so sad on that. But it's awesome. I think that'll bring a lot of people back. I don't know what series of card they're on. It has to be 6 or 7, but I'm still working my way through Series 3. I'm only like 1,300 on the collection level. Got a long way to go. Barely break 30 on the like the levels each season. So I'm not trying to go pro in Marvel Snap anytime soon. But that's where I've been at. That's what I've been playing. Just busy reviewing over here. Also working on writing a new screenplay about football with guns. So keep an eye out for that. That is going to be a banger. And I'm also, my script that was doing really good, Death of Blockbuster, about the Grim Reaper running a Blockbuster. I'm taking Blockbuster out of it. It's just going to be a regular ass video store. And it's kind of freeing. That was some advice I got from a friend who's a manager. So we'll see how that goes. Because a lot of the notes I got from people who were reading it were like, well, there is something on Netflix just like this. Which, have you guys seen that show yet?
I watched 2 episodes of it and I just couldn't do it.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's bad.
I heard reviews and
Like,
yeah.
so my thought was, okay, first episode. Okay, it's the first episode. It's gonna be slow, and then by the time the second episode ended, I was just like, no, this is not it, dog.
Speaking of shows, I saw that How I Met Your Father got a second season.
Andy's watched the first season. She said it's pretty good. She actually said Neil Patrick Harris came back for a cameo in season 2.
For How I Met Your Father?
Mm-hmm.
I watched the first episode of that last year, and I was like, I don't really need another one of these.
Andy said it was good.
Got a season 2, Nick.
Yeah, it did. But you know what? Hulu just canceled Reboot. I was pretty pissed about that. Reboot was really good.
Oh yeah, I did. There's just I don't know. I feel like a lot of these services are just like dishing out shows and then canceling.
Well, Netflix is canceling itself here come March. Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah, the password thing sounds very tricky. It sounds like
there's no workaround. People are going to be getting rid of their subscriptions. It's a guarantee.
Cause so like the way it works. So like let's say I'm on Josh's. Josh like has no problem. Like it'll keep him signed in. Mm-hmm. If I'm here and Josh and I live a few miles apart, but if I'm here and I'm signed into Josh's, it's gonna make me sign in every 30 days.
Yep, and then if you don't, they charge the original account for sharing the password, and I think it's like either another account technically, or like a $5 to upgrade or something like that.
So would I have to sign in from your house?
Yes.
But like, what if you don't have a VPN? Or are they like, oh, you fucks? Oh.
So I don't know I didn't read the whole article. I don't know the whole workaround. I'm sure all of the super tech geeks are gonna figure out ways around it. So we'll wait until then. But realistically, for the people who don't want to waste their time, they're gonna be like, yeah, I'm not gonna do Netflix. I'll go to Hulu, who don't do that.
So I said this on Twitter, like, and I'm gonna say it here now, but Netflix, like, I'm sure, and they're very skimpy about giving out their numbers, but I'm sure they've had no problem counting all those eyeballs whenever they were counting like how many people saw like Wednesday, Stranger Things, or whatever. And now I guarantee you those numbers are not going to be anywhere near what they used to be. I know they're leaning in on the ad version, or the version with ads. People are not lining up to get that. I don't.
No. What's going to happen is all these other companies are going to like, oh, let's just watch and see what Netflix does. Netflix is going to crash and burn, and they're going to go, we might have to rethink this whole sharing password situation.
I mean, a lot of the services are kind of like almost going towards what Netflix is doing, because didn't HBO increase in price?
HBO Max went up. I don't even think HBO Max will be around much longer, because they're doing that thing where they're combining HBO Max and Discover Plus. I don't know what the name is that they decided on, but
I feel like it's probably going to stay with HBO, because I think Discover Plus is the smaller.
You would think, but those motherfuckers are not smart. Those motherfuckers at the top making all the money don't know. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. There's a presentation from the middle of last year where they presented, like, here's HBO Max, here's Discover Plus. People come to HBO Max for series. People come to and like they broke it. It was very sexist. Like they're basically like, hey, women watch Discovery, men watch HBO Max. Women don't get the high quality TV that HBO. Like that's basically what the PowerPoint was saying.
Jesus.
It was a very rough PowerPoint.
I feel like stuff's gonna go full circle where there's gonna be one or two monopolies where they're gonna own the whole thing. It's gonna be like cable, but like a service, and then later it's just gonna split apart again.
Yep.
No, I guarantee you, it's gonna be like you said. You're gonna have the one or two big ones. So Disney for sure is gonna be up there with all their crap. Somebody else. And then someone's going to go, hey, we should go back to charter or cable or satellite TV because, it's the same price now, if not cheaper. And it's just going to be a vicious cycle of repeating between the two.
I think, yeah, like you said, they'll be the big ones. I think Apple and Amazon are kind of cementing themselves in pretty well. I think Hulu, I don't know what's going to happen to Hulu because Disney, like the partial ownership of Hulu is kind of messy. So I don't know which way that's going to turn. I see the services like Pluto and Tubi kind of taking a bigger chunk because I think I just saw that Tubi bought one of those HBO Max shows or the rights to it to air it. So I think I like those services. I'll hop on Pluto and I will watch Chicago news because it is relaxing.
I just put on Pluto and watch nothing but Daniel Tosh channel.
Is that still there? I couldn't find it the other day.
I don't know if it's still there. I haven't seen it in a hot minute, but that's what I do.
Yeah,
So I know.
that was fun.
I was gonna say Daniel Tosh, you can watch it on Paramount Plus too.
Oh, I still have that because I will not stop recommending players to people. All right, guys, we talked games, we talked TV. We've got a busy day ahead of us. As I said before, we're doing 2016 Q1. We've also got a speed cap with Halo 5. Jake is taking on Josh. He says he's played the game. I don't believe him. But let's go ahead and hop into 2016 Q1. What do you say, boys?
Let's do it.
Q1. What a monster start to 2016. Like, when we were reading this list, I was like, wait a minute. These games all came out in 2016. No fucking way. Yes, they did. January 15th, Oxenfree. I believe the studio is called Night School. This is a 2D narrative adventure game. If you've seen images of this game before, it's I would say it's neon color inspired. It's very foggy, very Lovecraftian. The word bubbles are very bright. This studio has a follow-up game called After Party, which does the exact same thing. They're working on Oxenfree 2 right now. The soundtrack is a banger, a hell of a banger. Like, this was, I want to say 2017 or 2018. I listened to this, like, this soundtrack was in my rotation. Just very synth heavy, reminds me of It Follows or a little bit of Fez. And it's just a scary game about these kids on an island, and there's a mystery. And if you're watching the video, there's just a map.
Yeah, very much the walk and talk mechanic game. And Nick, it's actually not a 2D, it's a 2.5D.
Oh, I'm sorry. Fuck me.
Hey, that matters. That 0.5 matters. The only thing I remember about this game that sticks out to me the most, other than the soundtrack and the story, is they had a Netflix version.
They still do. So, Josh, I don't know if you know this. Netflix owns Night School Studio now. And Oxenfree 2, I believe, is going to be a Netflix exclusive, or at least a time exclusive.
Forgot they're doing games.
That's the only thing I was like, oh yeah, there's a Netflix version. I totally forgot about that because I know it was a big deal.
Yeah, I think a few weeks ago I showed you guys the Into the Breach button on phone button on my phone because it has the little Netflix logo because Netflix has started. Hey, just download Netflix and then open up the games and then download this game. So you download the game. You still have to download it through Apple though, but it has the Netflix. It's weird. It's the weirdest thing. It's so weird.
Yeah,
it's like
very weird.
It's like Amazon has its own gaming thing, which honestly I feel like that's more reasonable. But then Netflix.
Okay, well, so the problem with Amazon though is right. Technically, they're like what 1 for 3.
In what way?
So, Crucible, I did the beta for that. It was awful. The game finally came out. It was awful.
You're talking about Amazon's big releases.
Yes, they're big releases. And then there was Lost Ark, which I think is still somewhat okay.
I think it's surviving based off. I think it's surviving based off people streaming it, honestly.
And then there's that other one that
New World
broke the internet for like a week. And then I feel like ever since then, it's just been quiet.
I mean, hey, 300 batting 300 will make you a Hall of Famer in some instances. So I think they're okay.
But I like to say, stay in your lanes. It's not that hard. Like Netflix can't even get their show. Like that whole their vice president who made the comment that they've never canceled a successful show.
No, that was Netflix.
That's what I'm saying. It was Netflix's vice president.
I thought you said Amazon.
No, Netflix.
Yeah, it was Netflix that said that.
Yeah, here's their vice president. Yeah, we don't cancel successful shows. Yeah, your track record doesn't show that. So if you can't get shows and movies right, how am I going to trust you to get anything game related right?
I'm all for multiple storefronts doing it. I'm all for it being everywhere because I think if Steam has all the power, then Steam starts to fuck around and that's when shit goes belly up. But that being said, I'd like for smaller, like if Devolver were like, hey, we're gonna start our own Steam, we got enough shit. I'd be like, okay, I trust Devolver. Whereas, yeah, the Netflix, the Amazons, I'm like, eh, you guys already get enough money over here. I don't want to give you money over here too.
Right. My stipulation is I agree. I don't want Steam to have, the major power. But at the same time, I don't have to open 7 or 8 different platforms to.
It's a little inconvenient, but it gives you I feel like it gives you a little more power.
But see, to me, it isn't. So, in the sense, like if you look at a console, like it's it's kind of the same front, but it makes sense because it can be disk-based or installed through their digital platforms. Or with PC, you have EA, you have Steam, you have was it GOG, you have
Origin.
Epic, you have I think I named Origin. I mean, literally, that's 5 right there.
And I think that's fine. I compare it to like a relationship. So I don't know if you guys have ever been in a relationship like this, but where you're dating somebody and that person becomes your whole hobby. I don't know if someone's done that to you, you've done that to someone, but yeah, you've put all your eggs in that basket, that person, and then pulls away and they're gone. Whereas if, okay, I'm dating this person over here, I have these friends over here, I'm also friends with people at the gym over here, I've got the rowing team, like you're having all these. So like, for example, Steam is where I try to have all my review copies for stuff going. Eggs, I call it eggs, but the Epic Game Store is where I do like my early access stuff, because I think they were like where Hades early access was. And I've got a few games that I play in early access over there, and they're my Fortnite people. Whatever Blizzard's is called, BattleNet. BattleNet. It's where I go to play StarCraft whenever I do play it once a month. So yeah, I just think being versatile and having your library split up, while annoying and like, oh, I want to have all the achievements and have all these, but I want to categorize them on Steam. I get that. I get
That's
that.
me though.
But then also Steam gives you the ability to like take that game and like add it to your Steam library.
But do you see what you just said there though? Is you just gave Steam more power.
I know I didn't give them more power. What I'm saying is that game is not officially your Steam game because it's not popping up as a Steam game, but it's putting
No,
it
but
in
you're
one.
giving them that. You're giving them
I'm
that
not
data.
giving them any power, Josh.
You're giving them that.
No.
Data. You're giving them information.
I'm giving you a fix. I'm giving you a fix for your little fixation on Gabe Newell.
Well, what I got from all this is Nick likes to have orgies with all of his games.
Yes, down at the gym. Guys, Oxenfree's cool. Sequel's coming. Hopefully, it's not only a timed Netflix exclusive and not a full-on Netflix exclusive. Up next, February 16th, this was Layers of Fear. This is a horror game. I want to say this was a very early Games with Gold from Xbox when Xbox One was treading water. Yep. You're an artist. I believe there's a haunted painting involved. You're in a mansion. This has had a sequel. This is coming off the heels of the popularity of games like Outlast. And this also has a new game coming out that's called Lair of. So they got rid of the S. The new one will just be called Lair of Fear. It's the dumbest thing. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Hey, I mean, good for them if they're doing it, and people are gonna buy it. So.
See if we can get to a scary part. I mean, it's your typical walk.
I mean, Nick,
and
it's just chapter 1. There's not gonna be that much there.
Yeah, have you guys played this game? Because
I've 100%ed it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I don't want to say it's that creepy. I mean, towards the middle or the end, there's like moments where you're like, oh.
I mean, it's that's why it's not just a horror; it's a psychological horror. It's all in your head.
I've heard that the second one is better.
Yes.
Is that
I can agree 100%.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. This first one does a great job. Second one's still better.
Okay. Josh, I believe you.
As you should. My gamer score, all my achievements, you should believe me.
Gamer.
Now this it takes place in the same mansion over the whole game, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I've always liked
the only
that.
part I'm not sure is the DLC for it.
Probably not. I've always liked contained games like this. So I think like Gone Home I really like 'cause it's just the one house. Resident Evil, I like the whole of Resident Evil, but I think I'd like Resident Evil better if you just stayed in the mansion and weren't like going outside and going into the lab. Spoiler alert if you haven't played Resident Evil. But yeah, just the contained. So like when Resident Evil Village came out and they had, or when the demo came out and the demo was all set in the one like mansion with the lady, or I'm sorry, the one castle, or 7 when you get into the baker's house and it's just this big old Victorian looking ass mansion. I like the single setting. I know that 7 and Village eventually get out of it. I just hate the fact that that's where we're at, where it can't take place in like one building.
Like, yeah, but where's the fun in that?
Maybe I'd like. I know it's not a horror game and it's a completely different thing. Maybe I'd like Control because doesn't that take place in a whole ass like just? Hey, this is taking place in this building.
I mean, technically yes, but
That guy's face was creepy. I don't know if you saw that.
I was paying attention. But yeah, I mean, technically yes, it is in one building, but in a sense.
I like very contained stories. This painting's gonna be scary. I just know it. Anything else on layers with an S of fear?
Onions have layers.
Jake's quoting movies again.
It was actually heavily influenced by PT.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Now look at that. They've got mirror functionality. Oh, just a little bit, but they've got mirror functionality.
And see, I give kudos to that. It's not hard to do me just just a foggy reflection. That's not hard. That's all I ask.
You still have to basically create. You basically have to have the character have the opposite movements. It's just annoying.
It's not that hard, Nick.
I know, but it's still.
The game's got great puzzles. That's about it.
Look at that. Jake's helping. All right, up now. Oh my goodness, February 26th. You're probably still playing this game. Your girlfriend's probably still playing this game. Your significant other is probably still playing this game. February 26th, Stardew Valley. Grandpa died. We got a farm. It was a shitty farm. Thanks, Grandpa.
Hey, he was old. He was alone. No one helped him.
This is another solo. Speaking of solo game, solo developed games. This is from Concerned Ape, right?
Yep.
And it's the farm dating sim, heavily influenced by Harvest Moon. Very cartoony looking, pixelated. This is 16-bit look, right, or is it 32? I get the bits mixed up.
Technically, that's 32-bit.
Hey, you heard it here from the expert. People get. I've watched some streams where people get crazy with the shit. I hardly ever get past having like that first little patch of land before I get bored.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
I would just stick to Farmville.
Would you really stick to Farmville, or are you doing a bit?
No, I would really stick to Farmville. I feel like it's simpler than this.
See,
Oh, it's a fun game. I think by myself, it's not my cup. It's like Minecraft. Like at first you enjoy it for like what it is, but then unless you're you're really into it, it just gets boring after a while. It's repetitive gameplay. Like yes, you could argue every game's like that, but there's nothing fun about whacking bushes and watering plants. I don't do it in real life. Why am I going to do it in a game?
Do you guys know who your favorite love interest in the game is?
I never played it.
What about you, Josh?
So I don't remember names, but it's the general goods store, a girl.
I think she's married, you jerk.
Hey, in the board game, she's not, okay?
You're in love with a married woman and it's not your wife. Mine, I'm trying to remember her name. She's the one that's always reading. I think it's Penny. Yeah, it's Penny.
Right.
She's always reading a book. And she's married to her job. Let me double check that I've got the right one.
Is that what you named your character, Job?
You know I did. There was a game I reviewed. It was Coral Island it was basically this but on an island, and I think the characters on that island are a lot more interesting than these Stardew Valley characters. Like there were twin sisters that ran the hotel, and one of them was a mom, and like she was always wearing like fitness clothes, but you could see stretch marks from having her child. And I was like, this is way more interesting. Like I don't even have to talk to her to know this woman. And like these Stardew characters is just like, oh hey, Leah likes books. And I feel like that's like, and you know, I'm sure there's some Stardew Valley fans that are like, you fucking idiot, play the full fucking game. Penny's a damaged individual. Do you not understand her backstory, you fucking prick? To which I
Now that
reply,
we're canceled.
You're going to get roasted just as bad as you did in the last video.
Yes.
okay, that real quick. We had a short on YouTube that had some mean comments about my headband. And I want everybody to know I've got 10 headbands. I am still happily married to the woman who I went on a honeymoon with and brought 3 Halo books. Don't worry. I said I only read one of those books. Why do you think I only read one of those books? Because I couldn't get through the other 2.
How long was your honeymoon? Was it like a week?
It was like a week.
And you brought 3 books?
I brought 3 books because I was like, we spent a lot of time on the beach. And if I'm just sitting on the beach, and I wasn't taking my phone with, my phone was in the hotel room the entire time. And when I'm sitting on the beach, not in the water or anything, I get bored and I need something to do. Lane can sleep and be fine. I can't take naps or do any of that stuff. I have to have something that I'm doing if I'm just sitting there.
No, I agree. I hate sitting at the beach. Like, Annie makes fun of me, and she's like, "Oh, you're so weird." No, I'm not fucking weird. I don't want to fucking bake in the sun and watch a bunch of people get drunk all day. I got better things to do.
Did she call you a dork for bringing 3 Halo books to the family beach retreat?
No, but I'm sure we'll have an argument about me bringing the Steam Deck this year.
Oh no,
no. Josh, some dolphin's gonna come out of the water and just take that from you.
I will fuck that dolphin up.
Oh, we can't say that.
Josh, you can't fuck a dolphin. They're a protected species. Stardew Valley, you're great. I don't get you. Hey, a lot of people coming up off of Stardew Valley streams. Good for them. I'm happy for them. Next up, March 8th, Tom Clancy's The Division. This is a third-person shooter set in New York with a team of... There's a pandemic, and it's... New York is ground zero. People are dying everywhere. No, it's not COVID, in case you were wondering. And you shoot people and the numbers come out above their head. I was so on board for this game because I love New York. I love third-person shooters. As soon as the numbers started popping out above people's fucking heads and people started comparing it to Destiny, I was like, I need to get the fuck out of here.
I mean, they had it all. They had the trailers. They had the commercials. They had the premise. I mean, they had it all. They literally had it all lined up, ready to go. Pull the trigger. You've got game of the year. You've got sequel potentials that will blow the world apart. And then numbers. The trailers looks. There was a trailer I remember watching where the Division men and women come out of the subway, and then like you hear like the silenced weapons being shot at them, and they're like pinging off the ground, and you see snow shoot up, and then your guy runs up on a car and he like jumps over the hood, and the car's very shiny, and there's snow everywhere, and it's New York, and it's just beautiful. You can hear like someone shoots the car, the car alarm starts booping, and I was like, oh my god, this game. And then like the next few months, like the footage of like the numbers popping up came up, and I was like, no, my boy, what did they do to my boy? It hurts. It hurts.
I hate looter shooters. I hate them.
They like I said, they had the golden goose. They could have made this be like this could have revived Splinter Cell a lot quicker. This could have revised every game that failed. If they had done this right, it would have brought it back to life. Fresh life.
I mean, I had fun with it.
Okay, I had fun with it for like a week, and then when we beat the game, you go into the dark zone and constantly die.
Yeah, the game is a grind for sure. Just like you guys said, compared to
Destiny.
Yeah, it's exactly a grind. I mean, hell, when Destiny came out, I grind the shit out of that. I'm sure we all did.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, towards the end, you're just kind of like, man, why did I play this? I wasted all that time.
I can't do
literally and after Endgame, there's nothing to this game.
I can't do looter shooters, and I think the issue with my issue with looter shooters is that the companies hide behind the mechanics and let the lore play out in the background. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I want to know who the bad guys were who made this dollar. It's called like the dollar fluid. I want to know who created this. I want to kill them. I want to like bring an uprising of the division and like fucking set New York free. And that's what I want. I don't want to fucking, oh, hey, there, if you go into this dark spot, and you're level 50, you can fight a bunch of guys and try to get all this loot. And, you know, it's really fun. And do you guys like raids? I hope you like raids. It's like, no, I fucking don't. I want a beginning, middle, and end. I don't want a beginning grind. Oh, what's my fucking light level? I don't know. Oh, it's too low. Oh, shit. Grind.
Yeah.
Can you say grind again?
Fucking grind. I've said grind more than a fucking amateur Twitch streamer.
I heard you the first time.
Grind.
My biggest thing though is I still, with a bunch of their games, I mean it's not just this, but even like Ghost Recon, the newer ones, they did so terrible, and yet there are sequels, and I don't understand it. I get it. I get up for the most part. It's because they threw that name out there, Tom Clancy. I get that.
There
I
was
just don't understand.
There was something.
Is he still alive?
No, he
No,
died.
he's
He
dead.
died like
He dead.
in the mid 2000s.
Dude, he's rolling it. He's rolling his grave right now.
R.I.P. Thomas Clancy. There's something about Tom Clancy games from the 360 era. They had a wait like from I want to say from the regular Xbox era to the 360 era. The games had a weightiness to them where the characters felt like they had weight to them. The guns felt like they had weight to them. And I think Siege has that weight to it, and that's why Siege has had the long legs that it's had. But anything past the last Splinter Cell they did, which was I think Blacklist, and I think Blacklist was even a little less weighty.
It was.
I stopped at Conviction because I think anything past Conviction and Blacklist just got too light. So I forgot what those new Ghost Recons were called. They were on islands. They weren't very good. All their games started following Far Cry more. Everyone was like, okay, you know how we play Far Cry? Tom Clancy's stuff's going to be just like Far Cry. And that was the issue. There wasn't an emphasis on the guns, the weightiness of them. It's taking a fucking 3 or 4 clips to kill motherfuckers. No, when I shoot someone in the head in Rainbow Six, I want that motherfucker to go down. And that's why I think Siege is still so popular.
I was watching this gameplay. Can we just step away from it,
All right, Josh, I will step away for you.
please?
I know
I'm
that
having
hurts.
flashbacks.
Are
I'm
you-
having
are-
flashbacks.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm okay. Thank you.
Oh man, this next one, March 18th, Pokken Tournament. This is a Pokemon game. I've only ever played this on a kiosk at GameStop, but it was so much fun. This is just a fighting Pokemon game. That's all it is. They had like how many Pokemon they got right here? This looks like 14.
Depending on the version. So with this one, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That was 15,
7, 8, 9,
14?
10, 11, 12.
This was on the Wii U, if I remember correctly. Switch was not out yet. I just remember being a Gengar and beating the shit out of a Pikachu.
Yeah, so on this version, they had 17 total available. You can unlock the others. They had an arcade version that had 20. And then when they re-released it for the Switch, they had 22. 23.
I'm trying to find... Do they have... No, okay, so hold on. This is a crime. This is a fucking crime. Josh, can they unlock Nidorino?
No, I believe Nidorino was DLC, right? No.
Did Nidorino ever come to the fucking game? I need to know.
Oh, no.
Nidorino was never in this Pokemon.
No. I have the list in front of me if you'd like me to read it off.
For those who don't know, I just need to know that one. So, when you originally started Pokemon Red or Blue, there was a little scene that played out of a Gengar fighting a Nidorino. And it's timely. It's a timely, like if if you hear the music, you automatically think of that scene. Just that little do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And like Gengar's like putting his hands up, like trying to block him out, and then Nidorino's just like fuck you and like jumps up in the air and gives him the horn. We have Gengar. Why don't we have Nidorino in this game?
Nick, if it makes you feel any better, we have 2 different Mewtwo's and we have 2 different Pikachus.
Nick, I want to hear Josh butcher all these names that he doesn't know how to pronounce.
Oh, I'm gonna fucking mess up a lot of them.
All right, Josh, say every Pokemon's name that is in this game. Go ahead.
Okay, starting from the top. Aegislash,
Sure.
Blastoise, Blaziken, Braxian, God, Chandelure, Charizard, Krogonk,
Oh,
Darkrai. Oh my God, you guys are making me. This is getting harder.
Keep going.
Decidui? Oh man. Oh God. Empion? Oh God. Garchomp, Gardivore, Gengar, Lucario, Machamp, Mewtwo, Pikachu Libre,
I guess
Sceptile.
his confidence came back.
Scissor, Shadow Mewtwo. Oh God. Sukeen? Oh God, I don't know. Weevil. How
Hey.
bad was it?
I-
There's like 4 of them. I was like, oh God, there's no confidence in this at all.
You fucked up all of them. It's pronounced Mewtwo, not Mewtwo.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, you get an A for effort, Josh. You're still number 1 in our hearts. But yeah, Pokemon fighting game kind of came at the end of the life of the Wii U, where everyone was like, "Yeah, this thing's gotta fucking go." I don't know if they eventually got this to Switch. I'm sure they did. I'm sure there are people who are playing the shit out of it on their Switch right now.
Yep, it went to the Switch in 2017.
I think that might have been like one of the first things they ported. I think that's like what started their, hey, we need to get all of our Wii U shit over here. Still waiting for that Wind Waker re-release to make its way over there.
Oh, it's next. It's guaranteed.
It's that and Twilight Princess. Yeah, it's a Pokemon fighting game. It's not any of that, like any of the RPG stuff or the stadium stuff. You are just smashing buttons and trying to kill that fucking Pikachu. Anything else on this one, gentlemen?
You know who developed it?
Was it Platinum?
Bandai Namco.
Okay. All right. I believe it. That would have been my third guess. My
What was your
second guess would have
second
been Capcom.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, Pokken, Tekken.
I wasn't gonna
That's-
put those pieces together, Jake.
We weren't going to do that's a far stretch. Come on.
Come on, dude.
That's a spot on.
Guys, we made it through the first part of 2016. It's the year that was. Yeah, a lot more about 2016 moving forward. But Josh, are you ready to do some news?
Yeah, let's get through it.
Read all about it. Latest football scores. Morning paper. Morning Star. Paper, mister?
It's time for old news.
January 4th, Activision Blizzard announced that they had acquired Major League Gaming.
Did they do anything with it? I haven't seen that stupid fucking controller logo in years.
So,
Nothing big, or like you've got your. I mean, hell, they haven't even done a Call of Duty big thing. Like the last thing they did, technically, I think, was Advanced Warfare. Anyway. Well, no, okay, May 2016, they technically did do the enhanced viewing experience crap, but yeah. Anyway, moving on. January 8th, Mark Laidlaw, lead writer of the Half-Life series, retired from Valve.
Yeah, he's I think he's spoken a lot lately about like some of the stuff they were thinking about for Half-Life 3 and then it just never came to fruition.
And then we got Half-Life Alyx.
People like Alex. People like Half-Life Alex.
I've enjoyed it, and I actually just watched a speedrun of it, and I was like, I didn't know I could do this.
How long? First of all, the fact that people are speedrunning games in HR is obnoxious and making me dizzy just thinking about it. How fast did they beat it?
It was like an hour and 20 minutes.
People are gross.
I was impressed. And this guy was like getting low and doing like it was cool but weird at the same time because it's VR.
he was like just dancing. Like if you're out of shape like me, I have no hopes of doing what this guy just did in Half-Life Alyx.
I will show you. I'll get a clip for you, Nick and Jake, just so you guys can see what this guy was doing. But it was cool, but also like, man, you're to speedrun a game, you're doing some work. January 12th, Electronic Arts introduced Origin Access, a new subscription service for Windows.
Oh, fucking Origin. Josh, we've already gone on a tirade about these guys
No,
today.
we're moving forward with that. No.
Hey, but you know what? Eventually EA Play came out, and that's pretty good.
We'll get to that when we get to that. January 13th, Leslie Benzies,
Yep.
producer and president of Rockstar North, left the company after a 16-month sabbatical. His positions were taken up by Aaron Garbert and Rob Nelson.
I mean, this was GTA 5's already come out. I think 5 was just such a big job for a lot of those guys at Rockstar, like a lot of those higher ups. And you know, Rockstar has a nasty reputation for crunch, and so I think as much as like the lower rungs of workers are just getting crunched the hell out. These folks see the writing on the wall when changes are rumbling, and they just get out of there.
Get out with the getting's good.
I mean, he decided to leave after a 16-month sabbatical, so it's like the writing was kind of on the wall for him leaving.
Well, first off, and anybody else here, tell me if they have. I think the last time I even heard sabbatical being used was Friends.
I mean, I'm sure people have used it, but yeah, I don't know anyone who's gone on sabbatical.
Yeah.
Just saying. Moving forward. January 16th, Brian Horton, director of The Rise of the Tomb Raider, left Crystal Dynamics for Infinity Ward.
You know, that's a weird transition. Just
It's
because
a very weird transition.
it's a weird transition, but I guarantee it had a little more security for him, because if you remember anything that came out of Crystal Dynamics, Square Enix was like, "Oh, it underperformed. The numbers they're just not there." And but a month before that, the numbers came out, and it's like, those are actually pretty good. We'd not suspect this obviously Rise of the Tomb Raider got greenlit, and I mean, there's a history behind that. Rise only got greenlit because Microsoft swooped in and said, "Hey, we'll foot the bill here if we get a timed exclusive for a little bit." But yeah, I feel like leaving Crystal Dynamics for Infinity Ward was like, okay, Activision, they're assholes, but they're not going to be like, oh, they're not going to throw us under the bus anytime numbers don't go up.
No, Square is at this point is being known for their, unless you're performing in the numbers Final Fantasy does, then bye.
I think Square is going to get sold this year.
And I hope not, because obviously, I don't know about you guys. I adore the Final Fantasy series. Like, yeah, there are a couple out there that are bad apples, but that can be said with every good genre or every good game.
I mean, they're gonna release another Persona. I don't know. I think they're releasing like all these special edition Personas.
Well, yeah, and then I mean, you're gonna get all these remakes. Like, I mean, look at Final Fantasy VII. Like, it blew everything out of the wire. And they're turning it into a, what is it? They think it's a 3-part.
It's a 3-parter, but it's got a bunch of smaller stuff. But I don't think nothing else is getting that treatment though. Like, it'll be Final Fantasy VII, and then what's the most popular Persona? Is it 4?
Technically, 5 is
5?
right now for sure. 4 right behind it.
Like, do people look back at 3 and be like, oh, this was so good?
You get a couple. I would say 1 and 2 is probably where you lose a lot of the normal fans, because there are such big differences. 3 was is where it probably stood out more, and then 4 is where you see more than 5 era for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if there's a lot of renown for 3 or 4, I could see especially 3, but yeah, I don't see any other Final Fantasy really getting the remake treatment. 10 maybe, but I feel like 10 doesn't have the backing that 7 does.
I think it'll either be 8 or 9 getting the remaster.
I don't think either of them, because here's how I do it. So let's pretend we're at a parade. We're watching the Macy's Day Parade. here come a bunch of Final Fantasy characters. I guarantee it, someone in the group with you can name Cloud. They can name Clefa. They can name Tifa. They can name Barrett. And they could probably name Aerith or Eris, whichever way you say it. We like both pronunciations here at this place. If Squall walks by or anyone else in Final Fantasy VIII, people are just like, who? Then maybe Squall Leonhart gets a little nod. Don't say Sid because Sid's the same fucking guy in everyone.
What about Vivi from 9?
Who?
The little little black mage you see. He's wearing the blue as the hat with like the face on it.
Is that like the Black Mage
Black
and like
Wizard.
the Black Wizard and all the other ones? That doesn't count. If it's a long-standing character. Now, if a Chocobo goes by, I'll give you the Chocobo.
Either way, well, I'm just looking at it as a perspective of what was their success. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say 4 because 4 has gotten that treatment how many times now?
Hey,
but 4's so
hey.
I know 4
good.
is so good. I know 4. I'm not saying 4 is not good, but I'm saying think about it. You had the Super Nintendo. You had the Game Boy Advance. You had the 3DS, the PSP, and then technically the DS port went over to every other console.
Just make 4 just like the Final Fantasy VII remake. I'm sitting here trying to think of like Final Fantasy X name characters, and all I can think of are like the women. So now I'm like, yeah, your creepy uncle would know like
Titus, Orin, Kamari,
what is it? It's not
Waka,
Riku.
Riku, Yuna.
Your creepy uncle's like, yeah, there's Riku and Yuna. Yeah, it's like, why do you know that?
Why?
Why do you
just
know
those two particularly? Why?
All right, I'm sorry, I got us off on a tangent.
Wait. You guys forgetting some titans here, okay? First off, Final Fantasy VI is dubbed to be one of the best Final Fantasies ever made.
Which is true.
Who?
And then, so that's a potential. And then also Kingdom Hearts.
Yes. So I think it just depends on what they do going forward with it. Like, I like the direction they're doing, especially with that trailer we got last year.
I don't
Didn't
think
like how 3 went.
Yeah.
I don't think
The DLC cleaned it up a little bit, but
I don't think they'll fuck with a Kingdom Hearts remake at least. Just because, I mean, I don't know how licensing works across like, oh, here's 4, here's remake, but I don't think they'll fuck with that. They're like, we gotta go get the fucking licensing rights for Aladdin again. Man, I don't fucking want to fuck with Aladdin.
The way they make it sounds like they're going to try and get away from as much Disney as possible going forward.
I'd be okay with that.
It looks like they're trying to get more into the Square Enix world, so we'll see more Final Fantasy characters with, unfortunately, like Goofy and Donald and probably Mickey.
4 opens with Goofy's death.
We can only hope.
Goofy.
Murder. I'll do it again.
Fucking do it again. All right, let's.
All right, let's move forward.
That was all from Crystal Dynamics. We got to keep going.
January 22nd, David Gator, lead writer of Dragon Age, left BioWare.
That's probably a good call there, David.
That was a very good call on his part. Like, BioWare just went to shit, and they need a redemption arc now.
Hopefully, soon.
January 28th, Bungie announced that Pete Parsons had replaced Harold Ryan as the company's president.
Again, probably another good call, Pete. I don't know if Pete left like because he wanted to or because he was forced out, but
Probably a little bit of both.
probably a little bit of both. But hey, Pete, you got out when the getting out was good.
All right, February 8th, Blizzard Entertainment celebrated its 25th anniversary.
So those motherfuckers are turning 31 this year.
32.
30, yeah, they're 32 though, turning 30. Okay, yep.
Yeah. February 27th, Pokemon franchise celebrated its 20th anniversary.
So they're turning. Oh my god, keep going.
Yep.
March 7th, Pressplay, the developer of Max, The Curse of Brotherhood, and Kalimba, was closed by Microsoft Studios.
I played Max the Curse of Brotherhood back when it came out. This was
okay.
This was the right call.
Yeah. I don't even remember Kalimba, to be honest.
I don't either. I'm gonna click on it when we're done with the show here, just so I can see it.
March 22nd, Evolution Studios, the developer of MotorStorm and Drive Club, was shut down by Sony Entertainment.
Man, MotorStorm was dope though.
Yeah, Drive Club was okay. Like, that's probably best on that end. But MotorStorm, I agree. Couldn't you just move that over and give it to somebody else?
Right.
or bring that crew and then say fuck it to the rest. Anyway, March 22nd, the Resident Evil franchise celebrate its 20th anniversary.
I can't believe Pokemon and Resident Evil were born on the same year.
Right, just a couple days apart.
Oh,
Well,
they could have been
more
twins.
than a
almost.
couple. March 24th, Sony Computer Entertainment announced that they had founded a new studio, Forward Works, to develop mobile games.
Did they put out any fucking games, Josh? Their link is not clickable, so I have a feeling they did not put out any mobile games.
No, nothing. They're working on it, okay? They're working on
They're
it.
still doing it, okay? They got into NFTs.
Oh, jeez. Get out of here.
Jesus. And to end it all, March 31st, Sega completed its acquisition of Atlas. Future Atlas development titles localized for America will be published by Sega.
And Atlas, they are who again?
They are the Persona and the Shin Megami Tensei series.
For some reason, I thought they were the Yakuza team, but I guess that's somebody else.
They might have help with like localization, but
All right, Josh. Hey, that's a lot of news, but
well, we got sidetracked with
we were dunking on Square Enix and then trying to remember all our Final Fantasy character names.
Yes.
Yes. Josh, thank you for doing the news. I appreciate you, and I appreciate the news. Yeah. Jake,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what time is it?
Me.
Time.
We got you a hot one today, boys. Got you a meme.
All right, let's pull this one up.
All right. I got to pull it up too.
Damn it.
it's so tiny.
I know it is. Did you know in Germany, Pokken tournament had to get a title change because the word Pokken means smallpox in German? I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true.
I was getting ready to say, like, hey, we're learning something today, but fucking, of course, you can't take a meme at face value anymore. I remember back in the day, we need to make memes great again, damn it. Sorry.
No.
Jake, this was a solid meme. I appreciate you. All right. So, Jake has to do a speed cap against Josh for Halo 5. We are going to do that. We're going to take a quick break real quick, and then we'll be right back. And we're back. All right, everybody. We've got a speed cap of Halo 5 Guardians coming from Jake. Josh is the quiz master. If this is your first time joining us for a speed cap, we've got some rules for you. So basically, the speed capper is going to give us a synopsis of the game in 5 minutes or less. The quiz master has divvied up some info that they want the speed capper to cover. So when Jake is done, Josh is going to run down the scorecard and give us what Jake covered. The max is 50 points. Jake needs to score over 30 to avoid the punishment from Josh. We have a link to the scorecard in the show notes if you want to check it out. Please don't do it while driving, you crazies. Josh, if Jake loses, what will his punishment be?
He will have to live stream a Halo game cooperatively with me. And possibly you.
Can I add something to it?
Depends.
He has to play it on Legendary.
Oh, no.
And
Okay, yeah.
at some point during the stream, you have to play the most disgusting level in the first Halo game. The library, right? It's called the library, right?
Oh, you're talking about when you're ascending with the flood attacking you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So if Jake scores under 30, he's playing a Halo game cooperatively with one of the bros, if not all of the bros. And he's playing it on Legendary, and we will stream that. Yeah, that'll be cool. Jake, do you have any words before we start the clock?
No, I don't think so. Can I get any hints? What are you looking for?
Nick gave you a hint with your punishment.
Story. Mainly legendary.
Nick, are we ready?
Yeah, let me. So, Jake, when you see the clock hit 5 even, go ahead and start. When you are done, say that you're done so we can stop the clock and take a look at the score. All right, I am hitting the button, Jake. When you see it, take off, my dude.
I see it. All right, Halo 5 Guardians. Yeah, that game. It takes place about 8 months after Halo 4. With the Forerunners, I think that's what the new enemies are called. Anyway, the game follows two Spartan fire teams. It follows uh Spartan Team Blue and Osiris. Your guy, your Master Chief, Chief Keef Petty Officer John 117. He leads Spartan 2 with Linda, Kelly, and Frederick. I don't remember any of those. If you read a book, you might recognize them. Me, not so much. And then you have Fire Team Osiris, led by Locke. And then like three others, I believe. One is Buck, the guy from ODST. You also, and I think the other one is, I think one's Vale. There's another one, but I can't remember her name. Anyway, they're sent to capture, if not retrieve, Master Chief's team because they went AWOL. Captain Lasky, another character in the game, declares Spartan 2 or Fire Team 2 or no, Fire Team Blue AWOL and sends Locke to get him. There was a moment where Locke's team goes and meets up with Spartan 2 to stop him because Master Chief's team is trying to retrieve the AI Cortana because they think that she is inside the Guardian and cannot be trusted. And I think Master Chief's like, no, 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 I gotta retrieve her because she's my girl. Anyway, Fire Team Blue and Osiris meet up, and Locke and Master Chief go hand-in-hand combat, and of course, Master Chief wins and escapes in the Guardian. I believe he goes into the Guardian. There's not much going on. I know Master Chief fights with the main bad guy. I don't remember the main bad guy's name. Unless he died in the fourth one. I don't recall. Anyway, he happens to retrieve Cortana. And I think that's about it. Oh, I know there was the Professor Halsey was involved in one of those. I think they were trying to get her too, but I think the Covenant got her. And Osiris was meant to actually help her out too. I know there's a big thing called the Guardian in there. It was a big deal. It's kind of like a weapon. But they destroy the Guardian. Another thing is that if you complete Legendary mode, you get an extra cutscene that shows the Halo, but like you hear Cortana humming before cutting to black. So I thought that was cool. But yeah, that's the story. The game's pretty cool. They didn't have a pouch co-op. It was only single player. Even in multiplayer, it was only single player. They had a Warzone and all your basic, Team Slayer, all that shit. So yeah, I think that's what I got. That's it.
You officially yield your time, correct?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, Jake, I'm stopping the clock with 50 seconds left. Oof. Josh, how do you do?
Oh man, Jake, you might need a refresher.
How so?
Well,
All right, we got the final score, Josh. Can we put this up?
yeah, go ahead. It's up.
All right, let's see what we got.
We'll do semantics here, but not look good there, Jake.
I'm gonna see this shit.
Okay, so starting from the top, you did get the time frame right. It was 8 months after Halo 4. You did correctly name Fireteam Blue correctly and Osiris. You didn't mention that the Cortana sent Chief a cryptic message telling him to meet her at Meridian, which is the whole reason why they went AWOL. basically just wanted to name the place. Warden Eternal is Cortana's enforcer. He's like the big boss for the game. You didn't name him. You did mention a guardian, but there are multiple guardians, and they're like the world enforcers. They're big enough that they basically just like, they're the enforcers. You did not mention Genesis, which is the planet, the home, Forerunner planet Genesis, which is where the Guardians take them. So when Master Chief escapes from Locke and his team, they took a Guardian that took them to Genesis, and then they actually had to go to Sang Helios, which is the Elite's homeworld. And that's where they found a buried Guardian that then took them to Genesis. You also forgot to mention our friendly AI installations of this one. We had 031 Exuberant Witness.
Great name.
And then you did mention the last cutscene correctly. Halo Installation 07 comes to life, and as it's happening, you hear Cortana humming.
So what's funny is that I knew about Genesis. Is that Genesis? Anyway, I knew about it, but I didn't think you were going to score me on that. That's my fault.
I made this like super basic, and I was like, "Oh, we should get this if he knows it." And you didn't even think. I'm like, "Oh my god, we're playing Halo."
I was like, he's not gonna mention that. He's not gonna get that far.
No, like literally, I made this like the simplest. Like I didn't even like name out like make you to name all these, and you start naming them. I'm like, first off, that's impressive. Secondly, you could have just said Fire Team Blue, and you got the whole score.
What's his final score there, Josh?
22.5.
And what did I need? 25?
30.
30.
So Jake, with that, you will be streaming Halo. We will set up some dates and see what we can get going. We'll announce that to everybody listening. So keep an eye on the socials for that. Sang Helios, by the way, is my favorite part of that game, and that fucking slaps. The soundtrack on that part. There's a song on that for that part called Walk Softly. Fucking go listen to it, guys. It's so good.
Fun fact, if you've played the Halo 2 remaster, that part right there where they're in the same ship as the Orbiter, that's the beginning of the Halo 2 starts with them going, "What do you know about the demon?" And then it plays Halo 2.
Oh, wow, when Arbiter pops up and sing Helios.
Yeah, where they're on the ship and they're flying towards King Helios. Mm-hmm. It starts with that, as them going there, and the Arbiter explains the story of Halo 2 to Locke and his team.
It takes 20 hours for him to explain it. It's a really slow part of the game. It's kind of crazy. Everybody, that was the show. We made it into 2016 and we're still here. Guys, you can find me on the Twitter at That Kaufman. You can also find me on Twitch and YouTube at Nick Fat Knight. Josh, where can the people find you?
Find me on Twitter at I am Josh Sang, and everywhere else at I'm Josh Sang.
Oh, he came back.
I'm sort of back. I'm working on it.
Josh is just doing all the AI art chat GPT. It's all he's doing. Jake, where can the people find you?
You find me on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok at Jake Boy Kaufman.
Awesome. And you can find Smashing Game Time on any social. We've got Twitter, we've got Twitch, we've got the TikTok, we've got the YouTubes. YouTube's actually starting to pick up a little bit, so go check us out over there if you're watching with us right now. We appreciate that. We're also on Instagram, so go give us a follow wherever you're at. Again, wherever you get your podcasts, give us 5 stars. We are hungry little boys for those stars. Thank you to Alex Marvin Clark for our intro and outro song, Hunt Him Down. We have a link to his SoundCloud. Go check him out. Give him some love. Thank you again to Trident Network for embracing us into their family. And as always, guys, this has been Smashing Game Time. We hope you all had a smashing great time. We'll see every one of you next time.